In today's video, we will be taking a look at the day 3 of the 2022 midterm election results coverage. This has already been close to 60 hours until the polls closed, and yet we still do not have a result to who won the Senate, House, and many governor elections. So get right into today's video. I'm gonna start off with the state of Arizona. This is a race EPA decision desk on Discord has projected that Democrats have defeated the Republicans in. Mark Kelly's lead was expected to shrink with the remainder ballots all counted, but that does not seem to be the case. There's a misunderstanding. I thought that all of these votes were election day votes like 2020. However, it seems like that there are around 20% of these remaining ballots that are mail-in ballots, which will favor Mark Kelly. Yesterday, Mark Kelly's lead was down to 95,000 votes when I filmed my last video. This video, however, he is up to another 150,000 vote lead, which pretty much proves that Blake Masters cannot make up a 18% gap, cannot make up a 6% gap with 18% of the votes left. That is very difficult, especially because there are still some mail-in ballots which are likely to favor Mark Kelly, and there's still some votes from Democratic counties such as Pima County and Coconino County that still has to come in, and those votes are going to favor Mark Kelly. Now for the state of Alaska. Alaska seems like that Lisa Murkowski, again, bad news for the GOP, will defeat Kelly Tshibaka. This is likely because that there is a system called ranked choice voting in Alaska, because the fact that many pro the Democrats voters will end up backing Lisa Murkowski over someone like Kelly Tshibaka. If we add up Pat Chesbro's number with Lisa Murkowski's number, that means that, if we add up Kelly Tshibaka's number with the Libertarian candidate's number, we can see that Lisa Murkowski would be ahead by about 7 to 10,000 votes. Now, there's still some votes left to come in, but I don't think that's going to change the result. It looks like Lisa Murkowski has won this race in the Senate results. Now, Georgia doesn't have much developments. Raphael Warnock continues to persist a lead over Herschel Walker. It's about a 35,000 vote lead, and this will go to a runoff. Assuming that Arizona is a state that I have projected that Democrats have won, and Nevada, a state that Republicans are currently leading in. If that is the case, if those states stay with their current leading party, then Georgia could decide the midterms yet again. Now look at the state of Nevada. Who is leading here? It is very difficult to say who is going to win. But for Adam Laxalt, the last time we checked in, Washoe County was red by 3 points, and Laxalt was leading by Washoe by about 3 to 4 points. It was 51 to 47 in favor of Adam Laxalt. Now it's 50 to 47 in favor of Catherine Cortez Masto. Last time we checked in, Adam Laxalt was leading by just under 5,000 votes in this county. Now with 86% of the votes in, a jump from the 66% that was previously in, Catherine Cortez Masto now leads by almost 5,000 votes. However, Clark County, the largest county by far in the state, has not necessarily seen very Democratic favorable numbers. To the contrast of Washoe County, the last batch of votes that came in for Catherine Cortez Masto, which was about, 5% of the vote total, it was, let me recall, it was about 25,000 votes. It didn't necessarily break for Catherine Cortez Masto tremendously. She won that batch by about 7,000 votes, but that's not really that good. So, not 7,000, she only won by 1 or 2,000, so it wasn't that good for her in Clark County. And there's still a little bit of a Republican vote left, but they all reported it pretty much today, so it looks like that Democrats and Republicans are in a very close race. I think the Republicans may narrowly edge us out, but we don't really know. It's going to probably be within 5,000 votes, so we'll have to see. There will likely be a recount in Nevada, but that would probably not change the results, unless the results are within 200 votes or something. Now to the governors. There are still some uncertainty. First off, in Arizona, by EPA's best estimates, the remainder vote, about 72% are in-person vote, and about 28% are mail-in ballots. What does that mean? Well, that means that Kari Lake is likely favored because there's far more election day vote than mail-in ballots. There's still 80% of the votes left, but it doesn't look that good for her because there's still a lot of vote from Democratic-leading counties. In Pima County, for instance, a county that's breaking 60-40 for Katie Hobbs, there's still about, what, 100,000 votes left. Close to 100,000 votes left in Pima County. That match will likely break for Katie Hobbs. Now for Phoenix, it looks like that's probably going to break for Kira Lake, but there's only about 14% or 150,000 votes left. Maybe 200,000, I'm not super sure. I think it's around 150,000. The question is Carrie Lake able to bring down that gap close enough? She still has maybe a little bit of vote from the rural areas, but I'm assuming, based on these results here, not much votes for her left in the rural areas. So it's really about the Phoenix in-person vote. We know that the mail-in votes will likely break for Katie Hobbs, as there were some mail-in votes that came in today that expanded this lead for Katie Hobbs from between a 50.2 to 49.8% lead, or just about a 7,000 vote lead, to now a 27,000 vote lead. So really it depends on how many in-person day votes are there left and how large will the lead break for Carrie Lake. I expect that the remaining vote needs to break about 53-47 for Carrie Lake. I'm not super sure, the percentage could be higher, but I think that's around where it is. 53-47 is the margin that Carrie Lake needs. Now for the race for governor, in that race, however, for Senate, that means that, who is it again? That means that the Republicans there, if they want to win, Blake Masters would have to win at least 65% of the remaining vote, which is not going to happen. But for the governors, it's still very realistic that Carrie Lake wins. I'm not super sure. I think that Carrie Lake will win, but it's really 50-50 at this point. The state of Nevada EPA desk on Discord has called this race for Joe Lombardo, but it remains a difference of the margin. If Kevin Cortez Masto could win this race, then we could potentially see Steve Sisolak make this race really close within the recount territory, but it's very unlikely that Joe Lombardo loses to Steve Sisolak, as EPA has made that call already. So that is that. Also for the state of Oregon, an update here that Democrats have won. Tina Kotek is the projected winner in the state of Oregon, according to the New York Times. The independent did not split enough votes from the Democratic Party, and Beasley Johnson, although was funded heavily by the rich billionaire who gave a lot of money to Christian Nason and Beasley Johnson, to not let Tina Kotek win, he will end up winning this race anyway by a very narrow margin. Now that's that. Now we're gonna go to the House elections. So for the House elections here, you can see that there's still a few races. There's been more races called, and seemingly Republicans are at 211 and Democrats are at 109. Now my best estimate is that Democrats are at what? I think Democrats are at 203 right now, and Republicans are at 214, with around a dozen races left to call. Now, some of these races have shifted to the Democrats, some of these have shifted to the Republicans. We'll take a look at two races that have shifted to the Democrats right now, and two races that have shifted to the Republicans. We're not going to be really taking a look at the California races. They're going to take forever. California's 22nd, for instance, a closely watched race between David Valadao and Rudy Salas. David Valadao currently leads by 8%, but that's meaningless, considering that in this district right now, it's less than half of the votes are in. Similarly, in the 27th district, Mark Garcia, a lot of votes, only 59% of the votes are in, and Mike Garcia holds a 16,000 vote lead, but that's also meaningless, given that we don't even know where the remaining vote is in, how many of those votes are mail-in ballots, and etc. And California's 22nd district, the turnout is really low. The expected total amount of vote is only 100,000. Let's give another district, for instance. For example, Nevada's 4th district, the total turnout will be around 220,000 votes. If we go to a district like Colorado's 3rd district, For instance, we're talking about a turnout of about 325,000 votes. So that district also has an extremely low number of turnout. I do not know if it's a system error that it's already 42% in, or is it that this race really has a very low turnout. Regardless, let's just take a look at two races that have shifted to the Republicans and two races that have shifted to the Democrats. One of the races that I want to focus shifting to the Republicans was Washington's 3rd District. Now, yesterday when I checked it was 70% in, and it still says 70% in, but the Republicans gained 4% ground. I'm not sure how that is possible. I'm just gonna assume it's a mistake on the New York Times part. So it looks like that more of the vote has came in from rural areas, especially from Thurston and Lewis counties. Those counties have shifted this race towards the Republican Party to now just a 6,000 vote deficit for Joe Kent. It does look good for Joe Kent right now. It seems like that Clark County's 14% Democratic lead will not hold, but we'll have to see where the votes remain because we don't really know at this point. We don't really know if the votes are election day or mail-in, but I'm assuming it's pretty much all election day ballots because it doesn't really make sense that there would still be mail-in ballots left, considering that these votes were heavily favoring the Democratic Party, and then the Democrats' lead just shrinked. You can see it here. The Democrats' lead really shrinked in this race. However, look at the timing of results. Many mail-in ballots postmarked by election day can still be counted, even if they arrive 3 weeks later. They can still be counted. So we can expect that there's still going to be about 5,000 to 7,000 ballots that are outstanding, that are mail-in ballots, which are definitely going to favor the Democratic candidate, regardless if they're even in those rural counties. Also, the fact that the Republican incumbent lost in this race because in the primary because of the impeachment probably did not help the Republican Party. Regardless, now let's go to the next race here. A race that has been shifting toward the Republican Party. This is Maryland's 6th district. Now, why am I talking about this district where the Republicans' lead has tightened? Well, the problem for the Democrats right now is that they are not doing well enough in the remaining ballots. I was expecting them to, by this point, probably lead back in this county, in this district, but they have not. But they have not because they have not flipped Frederick. Frederick is the key towards this election in this district. David Thoreau needed to win this county. This district was made far more competitive due to redistricting, the gerrymandered map being thrown out, and stuff like that. Now look at this. Montgomery County, the very Democratic county, has basically fully reported, and Democrats are not doing well enough in that county to ensure their victory. It looks like the Republicans have won, but we'll have to wait and see because we still have a little bit of votes left, and there's still some mail-in ballots left. We'll see how it plays out. We still have 7% of the votes left, but some of them are in conservative counties, which will not help the Democratic incumbent. Now to the 2 seats that Democrats have gained ground in. One of those seats is Colorado's 8th district. The Democrat there has been projected winner by EPA's decision desk. This is because that there's pretty much 99% of the votes are in. The Democrats have been expanding their lead. There will not be a recount because it's not within 0.5% the recount threshold. Thus, Democrats, EPA projects, has won Colorado's 8th district. Now, one of the districts that are not mentioned is, but Democrats have definitely gained ground in, Washington's 8th district. Kim Schroeder now the projected winner according to the New York Times. EPA did not make an early projection in this race, but New York Times has now made a projection. So Democrats have won Washington's 8th district. The 5th district that I've talked about that Republicans have really lost ground in, it's Arizona's 1st. Now this district hasn't actually narrowed down, but Republicans in some of the new ballots are not doing well. Last time I checked, it was D plus 1.2. Now it's D plus 1.6. And Republican opportunities are now losing because when they had about 20% of the votes left, Republicans had more time to make up that gap. But now there's only 14% of the votes left, signaling that there's not as much opportunity for the Republican Party to make up this deficit. It's only a 4,600 vote deficit, but it's still concerning for the Republicans. Because if David Schroeder loses, that really shows that there's a problem within the GOP in terms of their strategy of winning elections. Anyways, thank you for watching today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.